Have you guys noticed recently that Cypher players on your team struggle with the basics of placing a trip that can't be crouched under, but the enemy Cypher is literally the second coming of Nats? There's a ton of Cypher guides out there on the internet, and most of the information honestly is pretty outdated or just generally not even helpful at all. So today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 tips that pro Cypher players abuse so that you can use them as well on your journey to ranking up. Now, first off, we all know that Cypher's camera is good for getting information, but you can use it in another way to outplay your enemies. You can shoot his camera dart through the teleporter on bind, which will open the doors on the side so you can catch a little ratty camper off guard here. You can also use this exact same tactic for the door on fracture by faking a sound cue of the door opening to outplay your enemies. Now, make sure to implement this tactic into your competitive games, and you'll be tricking enemies in no time. Next, let's talk about his cages. You always want your cages to cover as much space as possible. But what you guys didn't know is that if you place a cage just on the ground, it'll be around half of the size of a cage that you placed on top of an object. Use this tip to cover more area with your cages to get the absolute most value possible out of them. You can also use this tactic with a sage wall to get a long cage anywhere on the map. To do this, just simply place a sage wall and place a Cypher cage on top of it. Break the sage wall, and then you'll have a floating long Cypher cage anywhere on the map. Now, for his tripwire, the most simple way to never throw a tripwire that's too low or too high where an enemy's able to crouch or jump over is simply to crouch and place the trip exactly at the eye level of your character. You can also use his tripwire in a pretty unique way here too. Certain angles like logs on ascent are hard to clear, so you can actually use your tripwire almost like a recon dart to clear it. Simply place your tripwire inside of the angle, and if an enemy is there, they'll either get tagged or be forced to swing into your team. If the angle's clear, simply pick your tripwire back up and you don't waste any utility at all. Next, we're going to be talking about corner cages. Now, many of you guys have seen these before while watching some of your favorite creators like Acre the Dog, but these ratty cages are absolutely broken right now. The concept of a corner cage is when you throw a Cypher cage in a spot, for example, a long on Haven right here, a small piece of the cage itself sticks through the wall and creates a place for you to hide in. For this example, if you crouch in this corner at the top of A short and pop your cage, you'll be fully hidden and enemies won't expect you to be here because it's only a sliver of the cage poking through the wall. Now for your final tip, we're going to be teaching you about one-way cages. Now I know a lot of people get afraid that they need to learn some crazy lineup when they hear about one-ways, but they're actually very simple to do and provide you with a really good fight that you're heavily favored in. A good example of a really simple one-way is C-Long on Haven. All you have to do is simply aim at this little hole right here and throw a cage inside of it. If you think the other team is pushing C, all you have to do is pop it and you have this really cool angle to see the enemies when they have almost no way of being able to shoot back. Now I'd suggest using a phantom so they can't see your bullet tracers and spam you back, and also possibly combining this one-way cage with a tripwire so you can make your life a little bit easier by giving you some outlines. Now, don't fall into the habit that many Cypher players struggle with though, of always relying on these little tricks to get kills, because Sentinel is one of the most passive roles many players who main agents like Cypher end up playing, which is far safer than we'd honestly recommend. Now, when you take a look at Nat's gameplay here, take note of how he's not afraid to take fights. He's confident in his mechanics and he's quite capable of carrying games with his gunplay alone. We can help you get to this point. Those corner cages aren't going to do you much good if you can't shoot back. Don't just get one kill with these tricks, get aces. We recommend all players watch our Become an Aim God course on our website, SkillCapped.com, to get their mechanics up to snuff and start carrying their matches. And in just under an hour in this course, we'll teach you everything you need to know about taking gunfights effectively so you can start destroying the competition today. Then after you've watched the course, take advantage of the VOD reviews in our Discord that come with your site subscription. We'll review your gameplay and get you climbing in no time. And here's the kicker. If you don't improve, we're gonna give you your money back. There's no BS. Check it out today, and we'll see you there.